It's Dave in Maryland, and he says hello, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. David, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me?
Hey, Chris. Good talking to you. Been a while. Hope you're doing well.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Let me hear now. Fire away.
Yeah, so on the Caps tonight, obviously I'm wearing the Caps glasses, but I got to tell you, that performance in Game 1 defensively was, I believe, an outlier and part of a feeling out process. And tonight I think you're going to see a more defensively minded team, going to clog up the neutral zone a lot better, I believe. And I really believe the Caps are going to go in and win this game 3-1, 3-2, and get a much better performance than we're used to. Every time that they've got their backs against the wall, whether being down 3-2 to Tampa, having to win a Game 6 in Pittsburgh, they've responded, and I really expect that they're going to respond tonight in a lower-scoring game.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Now, you would think they would button it up defensively. Now, this Vegas team is very, very opportunistic. I mean, you give them a foot, they take a yard. I mean, I
agree.
This team is, and I tell you right now, if you get a goal, let it sit for a while. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Vegas does an incredible job, of really recapturing momentum. If you get a goal, look at the game the other night. I mean, the Caps got those 2 goals in a row to take a 2-1 lead, and before you know it, they trailed 3-2. Then they took a 4-3 lead, and before you know it, the game was tied. They must do a better job of establishing their advantage when they grab a lead, Dave. How about that for a second?
Couldn't agree more, and that's why I think it was more of an outlier game, because you're right. In the past, when they've taken leads, they've been able to keep them. Their back end, their blue liners have been good, but on one of those goals, I think they have 3 of our defensive guys were behind the net. That the one that Nosek scored and made it 5-4. I mean, we had 3 of our guys hanging out of position. So I really think that's going to be buttoned up and fixed tonight. But I agree, Vegas is a great team. They're fast, they're opportunistic, they're aggressive, and it's going to be a tall order. But Caps are a great road team too, and I don't think they're going to lay down.
All right, very good. I think it'll be a very close game, and good call. I think the Caps will be right there with 5 minutes to go. This will be a very, very close game. Caps are not losing this game 5-0. Every game Vegas plays, they seem to be close games. They played a lot of close games against Winnipeg. They won 3 one-goal games in a row against Winnipeg to win the series. They had a good game 6 in San Jose, but close games against the Sharks. They had a lot of close games against L.A. outside of that one game when they won 3-0. They play a lot of close games, so we keep an eye on that too. Lucas is in New Jersey. Mad Dog Unleashed. Lucas, your turn. How are you today?
Hey, Doggy, what's going on?
Hello, Lucas. Nice to talk to you. What's happening now?
I've been a long-time caller. I've never called in and yelled at you like I would to Wetzel, but I got to say, man, you're absolutely wrong that this Colangelo thing's not a big story. I mean, first of all, that if it's true, the guy who's releasing things about injuries with players, that's the first thing. And second of all, that you're the odds-on favorite to sign LeBron next year, and you have a guy who's going on Twitter accounts and blasting players.
Yeah, but first off, I don't know if they were the odds-on favorite. That's the first thing, Lucas. Second thing, this is not a systematic issue. It's not like there's 30 GMs doing this. It's Bryan Colangelo. And
that's
Bryan Colangelo, he's not Jerry Krause, all right? This is a guy who has not distinguished himself in any shape, way, or form as a huge basketball. His father has, but he has not distinguished himself in any shape, way, or form as some big basketball guy. He's not done that. He's not won. He has bounced around. He is not one of these guys who goes down and, as one of the all-time greats. So if you don't have a situation where it is spreading to the whole league, which it isn't, and you don't have a situation where it doesn't involve a guy who's a household name, and he isn't, why is this a big story?
Because it involves the general manager of a NBA team.
A general manager of an NBA team, and nobody knows
players and information of players on the line.
And Lucas, how many fans out there who follow sports even know who Bryan Colangelo is?
Once that news story dropped, everyone who didn't know who he was knew who he was.
Fine, but how many? This is not a star. This is not, this is not, this is not Tommy Lasorda. I mean, this is not a guy who's been around. This guy has done nothing in his career. Who cares?
I got to explain one thing to you, though, Dog.
What's that?
The era of viewership and fans is changing. My generation, I'm 27 years old. Everything I get is through social media. Now, you might not use Twitter, and Steve Torrey might not use Twitter, but people my age and my generation, we all know what's going on. We see players' immediate reaction to everything. And what came from the story last night is something that we have never seen. This is a huge story.
Well, I don't see it.
You wouldn't know that because you're not involved.
Well, I get you're right. I'll buy that.
I was on hold for 45 minutes, and it was the top story on your update 5 times.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that the update. That doesn't necessarily mean the update is correct. I'm just telling you, Lucas, how I feel about it. You're talking about a guy who is a pimple in the big picture of the NBA. Is a pimple, and you are talking about a GM that most people have never heard of. And you're also talking about a isolated situation. This is not a conspiracy where there's 30 GMs on a social media Twitter account who are knocking everybody's players, and we can pinpoint other GMs. This is one rogue general manager, I guess, who might be in a situation where he might have vented on 5 different Twitter deals. And again, as I've said to you before, I'm going to say it again. If you're a celebrity, an athlete, a broadcaster, you're better off staying off Twitter. It gets you in trouble. It gets you in big trouble. 22 after the hour, we continue on Mad Dog Unleashed. Don't go away.
SiriusXM has a 24-hour channel dedicated to politics.
I'm Jennifer McClellan. Last night, while in Nashville campaigning for GOP Senate hopeful Representative Marsha Blackburn, President Donald Trump reminded supporters of a promise he made that he still plans to deliver.